now.
Yes, and here we go. I've been off of blogging for about 6 months, and the reasoning for that would be just been like sort of sorting through my life and trying to find a very forward, positive, right direction for me. And so part of that's been my relationship, and part of that has been the fact that when I blog, I don't edit myself very much. I'm just starting raw right now, and I have no idea what I'm going to say. I know I'm going to just overview, but so the reason I didn't blog was, and I was tuned in to anybody that's, was checking out what was going on with the comments and stuff like that. But I went through a lot of experimentation with trying to get what that key missing factor is between aging and degeneration, and the fact that I do believe that we are immortal, and you can take that whatever way you want, whether you want that to be in a spiritual sense or completely a physical sense, but I do believe that you could completely take care of this body, and you've just got to unlock the combination for that. So the reason I'm in my studio right now is because part of what I've been discovering is positive thinking and conscious creation. And those are law of attraction. And again, it's funny, I really realized in studying some of the more esoteric studies, which would be quote-unquote high magic, the work of various mystics and magicians, people like, I don't even, it's hard to even mention that stuff, because when I started talking about Wicca in an episode a while ago, people were like, oh, your religion, blah, blah, blah. I'm not into religion at all. I'm a very spiritual person, but the notion of one system is sort of ludicrous to me. A big thing for me that has really run me through, number one, is my sort of friendship with Truth Calkins, which has really gone beyond just showing up and getting advice and stuff like that. I actually had the pleasure of having Truth's sort of buddy at the Tonic Bar, Jay Denman, and Truth come up here, and I spent a day with them hiking. So I was sending out this law of attraction to get deeper into that sort of crowd, and to get more of a main line of information and not be so much on the periphery. So one thing that that helped me out with this idea of thinking right, of working spiritually, is this book which Truth introduced me to, Ramtha, and it's called The White Book. It's pretty much the only, I believe the only publication that the Ramtha people have out, and there's lots and lots of lectures and videos and CDs and things like that. And anyway, so the thing that I did realize is a lot of changes in how my belief went with law of attraction, with just, well, here comes a controversial subject number one, which is that I was taught a long time ago by a mystic when I was in my 20s that we are all God. There is no separation from us and God. And the Christian Bible even says, in the beginning there was God. So where did God get everything? Did he go to the hardware store to get it? No, I don't think so. So that means that everything is God. And that can be further followed up in reading Ramtha. And in saying so, we can manifest everything that we want. And the whole object of our lives is to return to source conscious energy. And so, a little bit lengthy on this subject for me, but the reason I'm saying that is because it is an important part of where I have arrived at with where I am right now. And that's why I didn't really blog, is because I do get caught up. I'm very reclusive, living here in the mountains, and I don't have a lot of interaction with people. and people would probably be surprised by that, by how much I talk and how much I'm able to talk. And when I am at like things like the longevity events with David Wolf and Raw Spirit Fest, I am very outgoing, and so I think a lot of people are pretty may not be aware of the fact that I'm extremely reclusive. I basically hang out in this studio a lot and stay on the mountain, and when I do leave my mountain home, I go to LA generally. And there was a long period where I was learning stuff. I was going to LA every week to see Truth, to see Jay, to get hooked up with what I consider a very conscious tribe, and that's the people who live in and around LA. I've been all over the raw food movement for quite some time, and I will tell you that I don't think any one place is perfect, but I do believe that that consciousness that's in LA is very high and pure, and some of the best stuff is definitely out there. And I think that has to do with creativity and people who are using their creativity. Los Angeles, a lot of people say, oh, I hate Los Angeles, it's so stupid. And you know, there is a side of that, because people are very superficial, but people are really pushing the edge there all the time of trying to keep their creativity. And I do want to digress and say that creativity, art, and the ability to manifest, change our environment is the one thing that separates us from the animals. It is the only thing. Otherwise, we are all the same. So, and as any of you know from my blogs, I have, the reason I'm doing all this is really to keep my creativity alive. I'm nearing, not too far away from 50 revolutions around the sun, and for what I know from a lot of my artistic and musical heroes from the 70s, is that most people don't get to keep their creativity. They sort of burn it out. And I'm not doing that. I'm actually, again, at 48 years of age, I am, my creativity is getting bigger, and that is a big reason for all of that. Anyways, so I want to announce to you, and the reason I'm in here is because when I became attracted to electronic music as a 12-year-old, all I wanted was to have a big room full of gear like this. And it wasn't until like 6 months ago when I started thinking about the ability to manifest things and what you think positive on and what you envision. Basically, you write a script, and then you run that movie, and then that movie becomes real. That can start with a list of stuff or whatever. And so I realized, and this basically a synthesizer studio, there are a lot of people who sell thousands and thousands of records who don't have a studio as good as mine, in terms of all the stuff that's in here. And I just think to myself, what a blessing. And it was something that I created, with just constantly being focused on that throughout my whole life, of that this is my thing, is doing this. So I want to announce what's going on with my blogs. I'm going to be back on in a pretty regular basis. I have a lot to say, and I'm going to try to avoid, I'm just going to overview, saying here I am back. And one of the things I do want to say is, in my blogs, I really don't edit what I'm saying. Like, I've gotten a lot of criticism because I cuss a lot, and you know, I worked for a long time in the sort of quote-unquote construction world as a surveyor, as whatever, and plus I'm kind of a punk, so it's like I love to cuss sometimes, and other times I don't. So yeah, I got some, you know, my blogs, I'm not trying to sell anything. The only thing that I actually consider selling, if somebody gets a hold of me, is I do few consultations, and you know, and that's that. I'm not trying to advertise anything. And so one thing I am going to start doing is I'm really discovering lots of things and finding out with my age. As I've told you all, I have been a raw foodist for a quarter century, 25 and a half years now. And that actually puts me in a position of time where I've actually been a raw foodist a lot longer than a good majority of the quote-unquote authors, gurus, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not trying to say that I'm any kind of authority, except that I want to give for free what my experiences have told me. So my blogs are now going to become an open forum where you can put comments down there, and I'm not going to be so busy because I do get kind of caught up in because I don't see a lot of people, so I get really excited when people start leaving a lot of comments and I get a lot of attention, because I do love people, but I am sort of a very reclusive hermit monk, you know, which allows me to do my thing. So, comments on my nothing is going to be deleted. You can put whatever you want on here. I am not going to edit them in any way, manner, shape, or form. And if you do need me to answer something and I don't get to it, please hit me up with the messages. I've got a whole tribe of people that are sort of working in my house right now, helping me with getting my music off the ground, and are going to be helping me with my sort of wellness personality. So it will get to me, and if you don't get an answer right away, hit me up again, because I am very busy. Health and wellness is not my central thing. It is my central thing, but being a practitioner or trying to make money from it, or being